Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Hi guys, it's Yoni and I'm back with another video. Today's video is sponsored by Rose Forever. They specialize in eternity rose arrangements. So this box has about 9 roses and this company is based in New York. So the reason why this company is, in my opinion, killing the game is because these roses last an entire year. Do you not know how many times I've gotten roses from people, men, dates, or whatever, and the roses die so fast? Like, these roses last an entire year. Being quarantined right now and having these roses like really bring me life. You can't really be outside like that. You can't really be social like that. I don't know. I just love flowers and I love what it brings to a room. It just really spruces up my day, especially if you deal with seasonal depression. So I had some flowers that I got for Valentine's Day, but of course, they're dead. But they sent me these and these last an entire year. So just knowing that I could really change my room around, my decor around with these flowers is everything to me. So I'll make sure to leave links down below in the description box with my $20 off discount code at Yoni20. Make sure you check out Rose Forever. I'll make sure to leave everything down below in the description box. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff. This is probably a semi-rant. I had already prepped a video. I was going to talk about Jason Lee. He gets a pass for being disrespectful to black women because he's gay, because of his sexuality. And if this was a heterosexual man and he was being derogatory the way that he is towards black women, I felt like he would be held to a certain level of accountability.
Then here's this. Every black woman out there, take off those blonde wigs. You do not have, that's not your hair.
Let me say that.
Hold on. Take off all them lace fronts. Be who the you really are. Stop being mad at a woman who's Spanish wearing braids, because guess what? Everybody wears braids.
And I see this a lot. If a man is gay, it almost feels like we don't hold them to the same level of accountability when he's a heterosexual masculine man. Why is that? I literally prepped a whole video and it was centered around Jason Lee. It was centered around Tasha K and how he spoke on her looks, her child, and people found it to be humorous. Why is it that whenever a black woman is being attacked in a derogatory, hateful, bullying, mean type of way, it's acceptable because he happens to be gay?
Oh, so now I'm an angry black woman when I read your ass, okay? So we got a motherfucker like Jason Lee again, okay? Talking about, oh, she used to reach out to me. We used to reach out to each other, bitch, okay? We used to reach out to each other till I figured out who the hell you were, okay? And what you were trying to be. But you have the nerve to call me an angry black woman. See, I told you, it's my dark skin that makes these motherfuckers feel uncomfortable when they come for me and I fucking drag their asses back to where in the fuck they belong, okay? So you want to say I'm an angry black woman, but you the same bitch that was on national TV who threw a drink in a black woman's face because she disagreed with you. And not only that, you threatened to disseminate a sex tape against a different black woman on a show because she pissed you off. Do you see my blog out here putting out sex tapes, trying to fight people, throw drinks in black women's faces? The same black women who gave birth to your little black shitty smelling ass. You don't see that. And see, y'all get mad when us black women fucking correct y'all and teach y'all how to be upstanding fucking citizens. You are the same black man who's out here capping for a bitch who has never fucking promoted you, but yet you want to drag another black woman because she won't kiss your shitty smelling ass, okay? So you can call me a black angry black woman, okay? You can call me, oh, I'm spewing hate, but I'm not putting out sex tapes on people and I'm not throwing drinks in black women's faces either, okay? I can talk my shit without having to to threaten people to expose their hairy assholes, okay? The same asshole that fucked your mama, okay, that your mama got fucked in to have you, okay? This is the type of person you are. And you talking about brands don't want to fuck with me? You the one out here trying to sell a show with that bland ass personality that you will never fucking get, okay? The closest you'll get to having a show is out fucking performing in Floyd Mayweather's strip club with the black women you don't like.
Carlton, prime example on Love is Blind. He felt so comfortable to speak on Diamond in that way, calling her the B word, speaking on her wig, and just really being super mean towards her. At the end of the day, he is still a man. This is why I don't play that. You can be gay all day, but still address me like you're a man and I'm a woman, period. We are understanding of the fact that a man can be gay and masculine, a man can be feminine and gay. We are aware of that. But at the end of the day, you are a man. Like, my brother made an interesting statement. He said, I don't care if my son is gay. And I was like, me either. And then he was like, but I do care about him leading a life of him still being a man. And I was like, wow, that's such an interesting perspective. So he started talking about it, and I'm like, so what do you mean by that? And he was basically saying that, okay, you can be gay and you can sleep with men, but you still need to carry yourself like a man. And I was like, what does that mean? He was like, there's just a certain level of respect that he should have for himself as a man. He was also saying there is still a certain way that you should treat women. And I thought that was such an interesting perspective. My little brother is very intelligent. I try to get him to come on here and do a YouTube, but he's so scared. He doesn't really do social media for real. But I love the way that he thinks. He thinks differently than me, and it's just so interesting to me. He said, I don't care about my son being gay, but he still has to be a man because that's how society will view him. He said he can sleep with men all day, but at the end of the day, he's still a man. That really brings my perspective full circle. And basically what I'm saying is a man can be gay all day, but he still needs to have a certain level of respect for women, period, because he comes from a woman. Me personally, I don't care if you're gay or not. If you are a man, you should address me a certain type of way. You don't have the privilege to be sneak dissing me, speaking on my hair, my weave, my nails, or nothing, all because you're gay. This is where the double standard comes in. This is where the misogyny comes in. And it's like, men, it doesn't matter what their sexuality is. It's all about them wanting their cake and eating mine too. And I just don't agree with that. Address me as a woman, because at the end of the day, you are still a man. I don't care about your sexuality, period. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is the stigma. I don't blame gay men or bisexual men for transferring or transmitting HIV. I feel like it's a community issue. I spoke on why I choose not to deal with bisexual men because of the health scares, the high risk it puts me in as a woman. I don't even want to perform or have anal sex with heterosexual men because the vagina is a very delicate, very complicated organism. You literally can use the wrong soap down there and your pH balance is off. So you really think that it's a good idea, whether it's a male or female, that putting your thing in a place where feces comes out is healthy for my vagina. I'm really trying to understand, because it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't even feel comfortable having anal sex with heterosexual men because of the infections that come with that type of sexual engagement. It's like putting yourself at risk when it's just not necessary. It's not necessary. You could be freaky all day, but being freaky to that level comes with certain consequences or responsibilities, like you have to clean yourself out. That's a lot of work. You have to clean your anus out and all of it. It's a lot of work. I don't feel like doing all of that. Why can I not have that preference? It's just too much for me. It's already hard enough holding these heterosexual men accountable when it comes to their sexual history, their sexual health, but to take on a bisexual man and all the responsibility that comes with that, like taking PrEP medications and things like that, I don't want to be on medications for the rest of my life. I don't. You know, I'm all about smoking some bud and calling it a day. I don't want to be on harsh medications that have horrible side effects. I dealt with with that. When I was my heaviest, I was 358 pounds, I was obese, and they had me on metformin, they had me on prednisone, they had me on all these different types of medications that had horrible side effects. I got serious about my health, my wellness health, and my sexual health because I didn't want the rest of my life to be dependent on medications, period. That was the whole reason why I lost weight. I shared my whole journey here on YouTube. That was the whole reason I lost weight, was because I didn't want to depend on medications that you have to take on the daily. I'm sure that women who deal with chronic health conditions or diseases, if they had a choice, they wouldn't want to take medications every day. I don't even like swallowing pills. I have a hard time swallowing pills. Another thing, when it comes to this conversation of black men and bisexuality and everything like that, and my stance with it, is the fact that I don't want to have to always be concerned about my smell. And I mean my vagina smell, my vagina scent. One thing, when it comes to being promiscuous, when it comes to bisexuality and all of that, and you just really being out here doing your thing because you have the choice to do that, it really throws off everything down there. And it's like, why isn't people talking about this? Like, it literally throws off everything. You can get a yeast infection, you can get a UTI, you can get so many different type of infections that has nothing really to do with STDs. So it's just like really weird to me how people are like, well, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It is, because I don't like smelling down there. It's horrible. You ever had a yeast infection? It's horrible. You ever had your pH balance thrown off? It's horrible. So I can only imagine if you are being intimate with a man who's bisexual and just the responsibility and then the burden of your pH balance being thrown off so easily. I just don't want to deal with that. I feel like my stance is legitimate. I feel like I have a real reason. If it makes me biphobic, so be it, because at the end of the day, when it comes to homosexuality, being called a fag was a thing at one point. And then when it comes to bisexuality, being called gay, but even though you're considered bisexual, people still want to call you gay, even though it's your life, it's your choice, it's your preference, right? And the reason why I view sexuality as a choice, and maybe it's because of the double standard, I feel that at any moment in time in my life, I could go out and be lesbian if I wanted to. That's my choice, but I'm just not attracted to women. But if I choose to do that, I could go out and do it. But it's a double standard for men. So it's arguable. Like, you can argue that it's not a choice because you're attracted. But in my opinion, as a heterosexual woman that has never experienced with a woman, I feel like it's a choice in my opinion. But it could be because of the double standard. Another thing is, I don't really blame men for the real reason 59 to 62% of HIV cases are predominantly found in African American women. I don't blame men for that, because at the end of the day, I'm big on accountability. Now, of course, some of those cases are from men who are down low. Some of those cases are from even bisexual men. But we can't say that that's all cases. Some of it was just irresponsibility, the lack of education when it comes to black women and sexual health, stigmas, major. A bunch of different things really calculate why our community is the way that it is when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases. And I really wanted to focus on that because I don't feel like it's being talked about enough. These kids are having sex so young and they are not being properly educated. I honestly feel like when it comes to the educational system, they really need to speak on homosexuality and the responsibility that comes with that. They also need to talk about heterosexuality and the responsibility and consequences that come with that. And then they also need to talk about bisexuality and the consequences that come with that. You know, at the end of the day, I feel that you have a choice on what you want to identify as far as when it comes to your sexuality, but each type of sexuality really needs to go into great detail about the reality of each individual preference, because I do feel like it's a preference. Whatever you're attracted to, that's your preference in my opinion. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, like when it comes to this King of Reed situation, I was going to do my whole Jason Lee thing, like if you're a gay man you get a pass for being disrespectful to black women. I was actually interested in seeing a response from him, and all he did was retweet, and I'm assuming that he's agreeing. Mind you, I wasn't disrespectful in my video. I didn't like any derogatory comments that attacked him on a personal level. There were plenty of people who didn't agree, and they had their stance and their perspective on how they felt about what he said. And if I agreed, I liked it, or if I thought it was an interesting perspective, if it was logical, I liked it. But I never liked a comment under that video that came across derogatory in a manner that was attacking his sexuality, who he was as a person, his lifestyle, and his choice. People didn't necessarily agree, but they can feel how they feel because he willingly shared that information to us. So what was disappointing was when I went to his Twitter, and I'm thinking, okay, let me go to his Twitter with an open mind, because people were sending me screenshots of what he posted. That was the whole point of me posting the video and talking about this, was to get understanding, to find reasoning, and to somehow be informed. But I didn't get that. When it comes to the queer community, they do a lot of deflecting, and that's basically what he did. He never addressed what I said in my video head on. He never brought a new perspective to the table. Even in his reaction video that I watched with Abe and Preach, he never addressed the issue. And to me, that puts us at fault as a collective once again, because the whole reasoning for us having these conversations, these uncomfortable conversations, is to find reasoning, understanding, a new perspective, and to be informed. And he didn't do that. How can you call yourself a voice for the people who have HIV, yet when it's time for you to be that voice in an informative way, to educate people like me who happen to be heterosexual, who know nothing about that life? How is it that you're supposed to be the voice, but whenever people try to have a conversation with you about it, you're emotional? You can't be emotional and be a voice for the people, especially when you're reacting and addressing people from an emotional state. Being emotional is not always beneficial. Then another thing was, I recently got tested and I educated myself on my sexual health. So I wanted to share that. I wanted to do a video centered around that. While I was educating myself on sexual health and things like that, it really became clear to me what I want my sexual life to look like. Like, I don't want to do anal with heterosexual men because of the infections that come with that. Again, that's my preference. I don't want to do anal when it comes to heterosexual men because of the infections. My vagina is too sensitive. My body can't handle it. I find biphobic to be derogatory, but I'm going to embrace it because I'm not changing my mind. Like, my stance is my stance. I do feel that I have a legitimate reason. It is what it is. So you can call me homophobic, biphobic. I have gay friends. I have lesbian friends. It doesn't bother me. We have these conversations off camera. A lot of people don't feel comfortable coming on my YouTube talking because of the comments. I'm currently forming a group of Black women in my local city right now to really try to get women on different ethnicities, sexualities, views, child upbringing, trauma, so that we can have different perspectives, because I feel like that's important. But I do give my own perspective so it connects or resonates with people that it connects to or it resonates with. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, this coronavirus. Is it surprising that people don't want to take this serious? You can have your conspiracy theories all day, but at the end of the day, we're living through something that is out of our control. People having a careless mindset is irresponsible to me, because even though it may not directly affect you, and millennials, we are horrible when it comes to this. We never really take things seriously until it directly affects us. But if it doesn't directly affect us, we have this I don't care attitude. That's not in our best interest, especially when it comes to the long run, the longevity of what's really taking place right now. And I haven't made a video on Corona because it's really out of our control. I mean, we can sit here and talk about it all day, but it's out of our control. We're seeing how the government is really trying it, because regardless of Corona and if you survive or not, Corona has a high survival rate. High survival rate. This is an agenda that's being pushed onto us, and this is the government flexing their power on us. However, millennials, we need to take this seriously because it's going to affect us. It's going to affect our businesses. It's going to affect our livelihoods. It's going to affect our economy. It's going to affect the banks. It's going to affect any future loans. If you plan to buy a house, it's going to affect us. It's going to affect our retirement. It's going to affect us. The reason why millennials are not taking this serious is because because we ain't been through shit. We ain't lived through the civil rights movement. We ain't lived through segregation. We ain't lived through the crack epidemic. We kind of lived through September 11th, but we were all young. We weren't even really in the workforce yet. We haven't really been through nothing. So because of that, we don't take when things are really happening serious. We think everything's a joke, everything's a game. Log out of social media. Everything ain't a joke, everything ain't a game. Now this coronavirus, it may not impact you in a way to where you die from it, but it will impact you. And it's really sad to see millennials not take this seriously. We never take anything seriously because of social media. We think everything's a trend, everything's a joke, everything's a game, but it's not. This is really going to have a major effect on our economy. Log out of social media. Stop getting on the shade room, reading headlines, thinking that's real news, because it's not. But at the same time, have balance. Don't trust everything that you read or everything that you hear when it comes to the media. And that includes the news. But you do need to tap in and know what's actually going on and stop going off of headlines on social media, because a lot of the headlines that are on social media are very misleading. It's like, come on, we gotta do better. We do. Like, we out here looking really ignorant, in my opinion, as a generation. And it's like, come on, let's get it together, for real. Let's get it together. We need to take this seriously. And that's just my whole opinion on this whole coronavirus situation. Am I scared? Honestly, things were supposed to start popping for me in 2020, and things started popping for me in 2020. I got a photo shoot planned. I was supposed to be in a magazine. I was supposed to walk a red carpet. All of that shit stopped as soon as Corona hit. So it's affecting my career right now. And it's just like, what the hell? What do you mean you're not taking this seriously? This is a big deal. The best advice that I can give you is save your money. Don't be out here spending. Don't be out here buying shoes. Don't be out here buying a lace front. Don't be out here just spending unnecessarily. Save your money. That's really all that I have regarding this video. I think I covered everything. I really just was going off the top of my head, so hopefully this video was flowing. I would like your opinion on a lot of the things that I talked about in this video, and I'm always open to new perspectives, different opinions. I don't delete comments. I don't know where people make that assumption. It's like, oh, if you don't agree with Yoni, she deletes your comments. I don't delete comments. You have freedom of speech. The whole reason that I make these type of videos is to get dialogue. Plus, I learned a lot from these videos. I've been educated more so when it comes to creating content like this than I have when I was in school. Like, let me just keep it above. I've learned more from your opinions, perspectives, ideologies, theories from my YouTube comment section than I have when I was in school, because the educational system is corrupt. So I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. I just don't like when people are disrespectful. They personally try to attack me. And I saw a comment when I was on the King of Freed's Twitter, and this black girl, of course, and I say of course because black women are always attacking other black women. We always out here caping for black men, but if we were on our deathbed, they would leave us high and dry. It's a weird flex when I see women caping so hard for men. And honestly, let me be real. I had a spiritual awakening recently. After the spiritual awakening, it clicked. And the first person that popped in my head was Chrissy here on YouTube. When it comes to Chrissy's content, you may not be ready for her content. You may not be ready. You may not be there maturity-wise, growth-wise. You may have to go back to her videos and watch them like a year or two later. And you'd be like, Chrissy is right. So when it came to the realization, and you will sincerely see a change in my content, caping for men, particularly black men, it's just not a good idea. Because like I said, if you on your deathbed, they will leave you high and dry. Because men are selfish by nature. Men are selfish by nature. Not just black men, but men as a collective, they are selfish by nature, because we live in a society that is misogynistic, and it creates a space for them to be selfish. For women, we're supposed to give. But for men, they can do them and they get a tap on their shoulder. They're called, oh, you the man. But for a woman, I'm a bitch. I'm selfish. I don't want to have kids. You're selfish. I'm selfish. Maybe I just don't want to put myself at risk during childbirth. You know how they treat black women when it comes to birthing in the medical field. They don't take us seriously. So for us to cape for all these other social groups doesn't make any sense. I 100% see where Chrissy's coming from. Before, I'm like, I have brothers. I have a black father. I have uncles. But then when I looked around, I'm like, okay, they got my back, of course, because they're family. But from a social standpoint, black men don't have our back. You could be on your deathbed, they're gonna leave you high and dry, and you're gonna be caping, and no one's coming to your defense. I've done it, I'm guilty, but I'm learning, I'm growing, that's part of my growth. So stop caping for men and black men. It don't matter if they're gay. Because it was so interesting, true colors were revealed. It's so interesting how gay black men want to turn on us when we were their biggest supporters. But as soon as they don't agree with us, they shame us. They put us down. So it's just like really effed up that, oh, I make my stands when it comes to my body, my health, and then all of a sudden I'm such a terrible person. That's why I'm saying stop caping for men, stop caping for black men, because they're not going to have your back. If it comes between them benefiting over you, oh, they're going to do it. No one ever has our back. Black women, we cape for the feminist movement, but only white women are really benefiting from that movement. We not, because there's a double standard when it comes to our sexuality. A white woman can have 50 sex partners, a black woman can have 5. Is she a thought? Excuse me? Like, what's the difference between me and her? A Spanish woman can have 50 sex partners. If I was to even get close to that number, I'm a hoe. So stop caping for all these other social groups and really focus on yourself. I really want black women to start being selfish. I want black women to really start taking control over what they tolerate, what they allow. I want black women to be vocal. Even if I disagree with you, you have the right to do that. You have the right to be who you want to be. I'm so big on being pro-choice on my channel. Even though I have my views, I have my perspectives, at the end of the day, I still want you to be vocal about what is best for you, your wants, your needs, and how you want to live your life. I created the whole feminine Yoni lifestyle movement on my secondary channel because I create content on there for women to figure it out for themselves. But maybe they need a little bit of guidance. They don't really know, they're unsure. So it's not to be authoritative over someone else's life. It's to really create space for them to find out who they truly are from the inside out. So that's really all that I have regarding this video. When it comes to my channel, I'm a womanist. I'm all about protecting women's rights. I'm all about caping for black women, and I'm all about supporting black women. I don't like it when I see other black women being disrespectful to other black women. I don't have to agree with you, but I'm not going to send any hate towards you, because when it comes to being a black woman, we receive enough hate. You don't need to get hate from me. I don't have to agree with you, but I will never attack you on a personal level. We can have a disagreement over a topic or a conversation, but I will never attack you on a personal level. So that's all that I have regarding this video, you guys. I would love your thoughts and opinions, so make sure you comment them down below. Also, make sure you check out Rose Forever. I'll leave all information down below in the description box. And if you're new here, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you are notified for when I upload, and I'll catch you in my next one.